points. We're under 0, so we go back to 0. So we have this all sort of running right now. But this is only running through once. What we really want to do is get this running so we have a nice little loop. So I'm not going to get rid of all of this yet. I'm just going to do a nice big quote right here to quote out all of this so I can pull it back in later as I want it. So just while just making a nice little state for our game. Call it running equals 2. So while running is true. So while we're running, we're going to do something. So while we're running, first of all, we will get in our character's name because we were gonna. Oh no, that's gonna do it during the initialization. That's fine. We have to initialize all of our characters before we do our loop. Otherwise, we're continually regenerating our loop. Our characters, our objects, and that kind of defeats the purpose of making objects. So we're going to initialize player 1, initialize our enemy, initialize our boss, and then while running, we are going to have our players do their actions. And the first thing we're going to do is actually initiate choosing our action. So I'll just grab this little bit of code here that I have for choosing our action. So while running, we're going to print player choose action. And choice, we're going to do our choice as the input. Then we're going to take our index is our choice minus 1. So it's going to run just a little bit different here. So the first thing we're going to do is choose our actions. So I made a little function for choosing actions here. So it can run nicely. And that is going to be added to my person class. So now our person class can generate damage, take damage, and choose an action. So it's going to just ask us for actions. It's going to list the actions that are in our self actions. I told about them earlier. And then we're going to choose one. Okay, so we make our player's choice. Our player is going to choose from our actions 1, 2, or 3. So once our player chooses our action, the only one it's going to be able to do right now is generate damage because I don't have anything. I don't have anything else defined yet. So if they choose action for attack, they will generate the damage, and then the enemy will take the damage, and we'll print out what happened. Else, we'll just print out I can't do that yet. So if we choose any action other than attacking right now, we can't do it because we haven't got the code yet. But we'll put in more there as we can put in other actions there as we define them. So right now we have our character choosing its action and then carrying out that action as long as it's attack. And then I'm going to do a quick little thing here where we're going to pause for a second and a half. And then our enemy, we're going to check to see if our enemy's dead. If our enemy's dead, then we've vanquished our foe. And we're going to turn off our little battle sim part. So put that in there. So what's going to end up happening in our loop, we're going to choose an action. I'm going to choose attack because that's the only one I can do right now. Then we're going to attack. Our enemy is going to take some hit points. We're going to check our enemy's hit points. And if they're below 0, then we are going to be vanquished. And then we're going to say we've vanquished the foe and turn our hit points to and turn our running to off. So I'm going to run this, and hopefully I don't have anything else that's wrong right now. So link. Oh, so we have player 1. I made a few mistakes on this one so far, and I'm just going to keep just pick up where I left off before, where I was getting the sleep to work. All right, we're just going to pick up where I had the sleep and I was getting the sleep to work. So as I try and run it, to name sleep is not defined, and yes, of course it's not defined because I forgot to import it. So import from time import sleep. That's one that should work. Attack. All right. So we had a little bit working here. Go down to where things messed up again, but we had our enemy taking damage. So we created our character. Our character chose an action 1. The enemy took the damage. The enemy has no hit points. And then we got to line 69 and found that the stupid get hit points was in there again. I don't want to get hit points. I just want hit points. Enemy.hit points. Enemy1.hit points. If they're greater than 0, we're gonna get out of here. So let's do this again. Our character wants to attack. Oh, our enemy has that's not a function, it's a value. All right, so what we have now is our enemy took some damage. He's down to 1. We get to do it again because I didn't have him doing any action. And then our enemy dies. We vanquish our foe with a 19 hits. Then immediately it jumps into this stuff here, which was generating more damage. I meant to put this outside of the quotes. So what we have now is while running, we're going to run through this. Right now we have me attacking with the enemy not attacking back. So after I attack them, they should have a chance to attack me. So here's me. Then our enemy is going to choose after we get our enemy's hit points, if they're not less than or equal to 0, our enemy is going to choose 1, which is going to be which is going to give them an index of 0, which is going to make them attack right away. So they're going to generate their damage. The player's going to take the damage. I'm going to get rid of this formatting stuff here because it doesn't help us. We'll just cause errors to run. Enemy 1's going to generate damage. He's going to hurt player 1. Player 1 is going to take 7 damage. We're going to print that out. We're going to also print out player 1's hit points and their out of their max hit points. Then we're going to do a quick sleep. And then we're going to print everybody's current state. Then we're going to have a little bit of a pause. And if the player is less than 30 hit points, he's going to bow out of the battle. He's going to run for the hills. Because he has fallen in battle. Not dead, just fallen. And we're going to set our running to 0. So that's the way it's going to run. While we're running, we're going to hit. They're going to take damage. They're going to hit. We're going to take damage. We're going to check. And if either he's dead or I'm under 30 hit points, we're going to stop. So quick run. We got down to line 87 before I missed another player 1. See? All these little things can pop up. Just little errors here and there. So that's how you run a loop. That loop just keeps running until we have an exit condition of either me being under 30 hit points or the enemy being less than or equal to 0 hit points. What I could do after that is I could allow my player a quick heal, so I could set his hit points back to 100 and then have him fight the boss as well. That could be my next loop. And that would be kind of how we could run this over and over again. What I want you guys to do is basically set up a loop with what you have. I'd like you to extend it a little bit beyond what I have here. I have a nice little attack function. I want you to do something else as well. So they could attack or they could do something else. And if they do the other thing, make sure you include the actions so that when they hit, so that they have more than one possible action they can do. So maybe they have attack or heal would be the other thing they could do. So if I just